the 70% of... Oh, now we're recording. Do you know everything that happens if all the ice caps melt? Because I just read about it.
What happens if all the ice caps melt?
Bad shit.
Thanks.
It's everything that happens. You could quiz me, because I read it really quickly. Here, I'll send you the article. Look at it. Ask me some questions. And I'll see what I remember from my very quick scan.
Okay. I mean, I can already ask you one now, but I don't know the answer. I'd have to see it. How many feet will the sea levels rise if all of the ice caps melt? I think it's
280 feet, I think. Probably wrong about that. I don't even...
Of course this is in Business Insider. Why wouldn't it be? Many articles are in Business Insider.
If anyone needs to know about what fucked up shit they're doing to the earth, it's probably business people, right?
It's just...
Because they have, like, the control over this. They're the ones who, like, ultimately get to make the decision.
Yeah.
Of, like, how far we could take the world.
I'm just saying historically... I guess basically since we started doing the podcast, I've been surprised how many articles.
Yeah, they say to put out a lot of fucking articles, right?
Yeah, but it's like topics I wouldn't expect to come out of a website called businessinsider.com.
This article says 66 meters, which makes me wonder how is that 280 feet?
Were you reading something else? Because I heard you say 200 something feet.
Yeah, no, I was also reading a couple of different websites.
Okay, what's one of the toxic chemicals that will be trapped inside of a Himalayan glacier?
Oh, that's DDT, man.
Yeah, but what's it called?
I
just realized this giant screen is right in front of you.
Yeah.
You're seeing everything.
DDT, well, that is the famous WWE wrestler. But obviously, I can't see the word, but let me read it. This is a great word. It's Dick Lord Epiphany.
I was going to say
Dick Lord Epiphany Rich Lorthane. Dick Lord Epiphany Rich Lorthane. I know that guy.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Dick Lord Epiphany.
AKA DDT.
I guess that's not how you say that.
No, but I'm not going to try to say it either. Well, Waterworld.
Is that a fucking word?
It's it's a chemical compound word,
Yeah. God damn.
You just can't believe it.
Chemistry sucked. Did you take chemistry in university? No, you didn't. You went to some weird university. You didn't have to take science classes.
Well, I did do natural science classes, but they weren't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't take chemistry. Like when we did science, it was like reading.
They like came to you. It's like pretend you're Isaac Newton and go out there and come up with like a scientific experiment and come back to us a semester later with your findings.
No, we read like actual Isaac Newton like text, and then we would read like actual physics experiments text and stuff and talk about it. But it was more like, I mean, it was trying to understand the actual science, but then it was also like, what does this say about society? Shit like that. I don't know. But that's probably not even true. I think I'm just...
Let's just talk about Waterworld. What Waterworld says about society.
I agree.
First thing I want to comment on, which is in the commentary, if you listen to the commentary, look at how fucking small Kevin Costner is. Like, pull up a picture of, I don't know, a modern, like, manly man star, say Chris Evans. And look at how much bigger he is.
Man. We've talked about this.
Look at how much bigger Thor is in this motherfucker. He's too small.
Yeah. It was a different era.
I would say this is George Miller's worst movie, by the way.
You're more of a Babe.
Babe is good.
Pig in... What is it? Pig in the City?
Did George Miller also direct Part 2?
I don't know. Probably not.
Because Babe Part 2 is weird.
Is it?
It's really weird. Yeah, the Children's Hospital one.
Never saw any of them.
I'm pretty sure that he directed Part 2 also. You should watch them, man. They're weird. They're a bit absurd. Imagine, believe it or not. Pig in the City.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, so Waterworld. I mean, I feel like we said a lot of stuff during the commentary. That's always the problem, the issue with trying to... I mean, it's not really an issue when we're talking about, like, how we just watched 5, 6, 7, 8 movies in a row. But we just watched the one. But I guess it's fine if we repeat things that we said on the commentary. But to maybe get around some of that, let's use this article from BBC.com's culture section called Waterworld at 25, reappraising cinema's biggest flop. That's what it was known for. What's often seen as cinema's biggest flop has plenty of admirers. And it's had a real impact on mainstream views of climate change, writes Gregory Wakeman.
Has it really?
That's what I was thinking when I read that. Let's see what Gregory Wakeman has to say. I don't know if he's going to convince me that it's had a profound impact on climate change or whatever he just said. But when Waterworld splashed into U.S. cinemas in July 1995, oh, what a time. It did so with a belly flop. Here's that word flop again. Emphasis very much on the word flop. Okay, flop, flop, flop. By the time Waterworld had arrived in the UK just 2 weeks later, its status as the most expensive film ever made at the time, its well-publicized production problems, average to negative reviews, and comparatively poor domestic box office performance had all combined to leave it dead in the water. How many fucking water references is this guy gonna make?
When you write for the BBC, you have to make all the water references.
Good God.
Because if you're writing for the BBC, that means you couldn't get a nice job at the Star.
Huh? Is that one of those tabloid rags?
I think so.
But 25 years on, Waterworld's legacy and impact deserve a reappraisal. The film's original screenwriter, Peter Rader, who created the post-apocalyptic action-adventure set in a future where the polar ice caps have melted and water covers the earth, tells BBC Culture and that Waterworld is actually, quote, one of the most successful movies in Universal's vast catalog.
That's intriguing.
Let's find out why. With good reason, too, as Waterworld, a live sea war spectacular, has been key to Universal Studios theme parks ever since it debuted at the Hollywood site just a few weeks after the film was released. So yeah, there's this big
I've been to Universal Studios Japan.
and you didn't see Waterworld.
I don't remember there being a Waterworld ride, and I thought that I did everything that fucking day.
What year did you go there? Do you remember?
I want to say 2017, but it could have been 2016. Jesus.
Because it might be very new, and it could be new in Japan, honestly.
I guess so. Man, was that like the last time I took a vacation?
Really?
Not like out of the country and not like going to visit like family in America. It could have been like the last like vacation I went to that wasn't like going home to America.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
It was a while ago. That makes me kind of feel bad. I had a lot of fun on that trip. No, I guess I've done other stuff. I mean, there was the time me and Yane took the road trip around America. We had a great deal of fun with that. So this isn't like a ride. This is like a show. That's why I didn't do it. It's like at Six Flags when I was a kid, they had a Batman show where they had like people did all the stunts from the Tim Burton Batman movies. I guess me and Yane didn't really watch any of the shows. I get why I didn't see it. This doesn't look like it's a ride though. It looks like it's
no, it's not a ride at all. It's it's
a show.
It's a stunt show, action show.
Got you. No, me and Yane didn't sit through any shows.
Also, you deliberately, well, not deliberately, but it was there when you were there.
Yeah,
this video says 2015.
We were there for rides. We weren't there for shows.
Fair enough. I mean, I saw a couple of short clips from the show, and it just looked like what you expect stunt shows to be. But it is kind of
stunt shows are cool.
But it's kind of amazing
kids.
that this particular one has lasted since 1995, and at 3 different locations in 3 different countries.
Must be a cool stunt show.
So I think that like this is going to be the key in the article to why it has any sort of financial success. But yeah, it says it's generated billions in revenue for Universal.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Hundreds of millions of people have been exposed to the whole Waterworld idea. This is the original screenwriter, Peter Rader, still speaking. Was it Peter? Anyway, whatever his name is. There's a Jurassic Park zone, a Harry Potter zone, a Transformers zone, and they're all multi-film franchises. They've all had at least 3, in some cases 7 movies. Waterworld is just one movie. What does that tell you about the concept? It is so primordially appealing. This guy's really blowing smoke up his own ass about
primordial
Waterworld.
Because it's fucking primordial ooze.
I mean, wouldn't you say Jurassic Park zone is more primordially appealing?
Because the fucking lizards had crawled out of the ocean at that point.
All right.
Waterworld's about crawling back into the ocean and becoming ooze again.
Yeah, so it's like way...
It's like reverse de-evolution. Kevin Costner's becoming a fish man. Harry Potter Zone. I went to Harry Potter Zone.
How was that?
I don't think J.K. Rowling had been completely canceled when I went to Osaka.
No, I don't think so.
There was no... She hadn't came out as like just a complete hater of trans at that point. I wish that like authors would just like not fucking have Twitter accounts. It was fine.
Or just not be stupid might help too.
That would help too, yeah. Definitely.
So, all right. Some film studies guy says that Waterworld's not as terrible as some people claim, which I would agree with. I think a lot of the...
You think the bad press of the time may have sunk the movie more than it had to be sunk?
Yeah, I think that...
Now I'm doing fucking water things. Sunk.
I think...
Torpedoed the movie a bit.
I think that the heavy torrents of rain that came down from the critics, yeah, I think that the narrative of it being the worst film, not the worst film, but the biggest failed film of all time, is a little overblown. I mean, it is true that they did spend way too much money on it. And that like the budget got out of control, and therefore like they didn't make like a huge profit. But like, I don't know, on a critical level, like it seems like on the same level as a lot of big dumb blockbuster movies to me.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even slightly better than average, but now having just watched it for the second time.
I mean, my biggest problem is I don't feel like they do a good job of making me ever care about a single character in the movie or a motivation for the characters.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. Like,
I get why they'd want to get to dry land, but I don't feel like they ever present it in any like coherent way, and I don't think they like present the smokers in a... So the little girl's like the MacGuffin of the film. I don't know. It's just like it's missing something to make me like care about what's going on.
And what it might be missing is that 40 minutes that came with the made for TV version. Not made for TV, but
that's true. But you know, had they added that 40 minutes, it would have been about the same length as a Marvel movie.
Well, so there are two other cuts of the film. There's like this TV cut that adds like 40 minutes, and then there's something called the Ulysses cut, which I believe, I'm not going to look it up, but it's something like it's like the equivalent of like, if you know anything about like all the different cuts of Blade Runner, it's probably the equivalent of like the final cut of Blade Runner. It's like the one that everyone says is like the definitive final one. I don't know if it would make a huge difference. I am curious. I did download it. I'm probably going to watch it like sooner than later, just because I watch movies that I don't even necessarily like that much. It's a thing I do. But I'm probably going to watch that Postman movie and maybe Dances with Wolves before that. But where was I?
The opening scene is really good. I was just reading that paragraph.
Oh, yeah, the piss.
Yeah.
The first thing you see is some distilling of piss. Yeah, I actually, I think I say in the commentary, but that was like one of the only things I knew about the movie was the piss thing. And I thought it was going to be like, in my imagination, characters are just constantly pissing in these contraptions and drinking it.
I think that's part of the problem with the movie is like, looking at this paragraph, they're talking about how a director was replaced at some point after Costner was joined and stuff, but the tone of Waterworld, there's like, I feel like it mixes its tone too often, and like a lot, like so much of the movie is like disjointed, as in like I feel like maybe all the actors weren't on the same page.
Maybe that. I think a lot of it is so I guess I should mention, I keep forgetting what I've mentioned here and what I mentioned in the commentary, but I watched this like 90-minute like everything you ever wanted to know about Waterworld thing that some YouTuber made that seemed pretty informative, and they talked about how, for example, the tone was very different with the music originally. Like the first composer they had was doing like this kind of bleak music, and like I guess the producers and Kevin Costner and whoever were like, get that shit out of here, and they hired some sort of more straightforward composer to like write what to me sounds like adventure Disney music a lot of the time. Although every now and then there's that cheesy like kind of like islands music or whatever, which is okay, whatever, that's fine. But yeah, like the tone between the villains of the film and then this character you don't give a shit about, the Mariner, the Costner character. Like, we know, and the thing is like sometimes mystery is great in films. Like, I like David Lynch movies where like tons of shit happens that's not explained, but like you can't just like do a sort of avant-garde mystery thing and put it into a blockbuster and have me buy it either. I'm not saying it was like You know what I mean, though? Like, there's just nothing
Yeah,
about
no, I
his
do.
life, like nothing. Like, there's no hint at all about what he cares about, what he's doing, why he's there. It's just he's got gills behind his ears, and he can deep dive and get dirt. And then when he finally gets to the promised land at the end of the movie, he immediately leaves to go off and continue being what seems like a kind of miserable life as a solo guy on a boat.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense, really. But if you look past all that shit, like on the surface level, it does just seem like a typical summer blockbuster. But it also, it has this, like, you see the little bits and pieces of, like, the higher ambitions of it to be this, like, interesting, conceptually interesting film that had never been seen before. Like, but it does fail. It does fail in a lot of ways. But, I don't know. I don't know what I'm really getting at with this. Waterworld is a more confusing movie than I would have expected, I guess. Gave me more to think about than I expected.
Like, how in this world all covered in water did they build so much? People are resourceful.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's what I wonder is in
Why isn't
this
everyone
picture we've
dead?
been staring at for like 10 minutes? I thought for the longest time that it was Photoshop because his head looks so big on his tiny body.
It's just the angle of the shot.
I know, but it's tripping me out a bit.
Maybe.
Also, it goes to your theory about him being too tiny for an action star.
Well, everyone at this time period's
Yeah.
tiny.
True.
Except for Arnold. Arnold was never tiny.
Also true. Well, if you get the action, the real action guys in on it, I mean, like Stallone and...
Stallone was kind of tiny at one. Well, I mean, he wasn't tiny. He was pretty big. Come to think of it.
He was like very vascular.
Yeah.
Something terrifying, inhuman.
Roid.
Yeah, roid rage embodied. So I don't know. We kind of tried to. I was like getting in this thought loop about Kevin Costner. Like, I can't quite figure out exactly how I feel about him. But I did keep saying that I feel like he's like, obviously he's a movie star. Everyone knows who he is.
Oh, yeah, I
but like,
mean-
he seems like he shouldn't be a movie star or something. It doesn't make sense. He doesn't seem very charismatic or something to me. But then again, maybe it's just because I'm watching Waterworld and his character in Waterworld has no fucking depth. So maybe I'm being a little too harsh to Kevin Costner. I don't know.
I think that I enjoyed Field of Dreams when I saw it as a kid, which is really the only other. I mean, I've seen JFK. JFK was good, right?
Yeah,
I don't
JFK is
know.
a fun movie. He's fine in that.
I mean, as we were saying, The Untouchables is great. I don't know if I've seen No Way Out, or I've seen Robin Hood. I think I liked the Robin Hood movie, even though
That was one of those movies I remember being like everywhere as a kid. Some summer, whatever. I think that was like 91.
it was
or
really
something.
popular when it came out.
Yeah, it was.
It was not as good as Men in Tights.
True.
Just want to throw that out there.
So, I mean, okay. Then there's the other thing about Costner, and my understanding of like the trajectory of his career is that like he hit upon Dances with Wolves, and that's his big like I'm an auteur movie. Like, I'm a director, I'm gonna star in this movie. I don't know if he wrote the movie or whatever, but he might as well have. Anyway, it was like the beginning of him like being this movie tyrant who could do whatever he wanted, especially after that particular movie because it got all the awards and it was very prestigious or whatever. But then he made Wyatt Earp, which I've never seen, but all I could think when I kept seeing like footage of that was, this is the poor man's tombstone.
I think it was the poor man's.
But it's like a 3-hour movie. And it's like he took it super seriously, and it also was a huge bomb. And I think that was before Waterworld.
Why are old white guys so into bringing westerns back?
I mean, he's from that era where he probably like grew up on them as a kid, I guess. I don't know. But like Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp in Tombstone, like I like that movie.
I like the movie Tombstone.
It's a fun movie, and like Kurt Russell is just a million times more like watchable and charismatic than fucking Kevin Costner when they're both playing the same guy. It sort of made me want to almost watch fucking Wyatt Earp just to rip on it.
Let's see that this thing's mentions one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, Last Action Hero. I just saw that too.
Which is probably one of the best meta films ever made.
That was also though like a sort of infamous
bomb. I knew it was a bomb, but I think it was a bomb because it was literally ahead of its time, because it was making fun and poking fun of everything about these blockbusters.
That was Shane Black, right?
Yeah.
He did the screenplay. Shane Black writes some good movies. Just on a tangent of that, do you ever see
Cutthroat Island? No.
No. Another Shane Black movie. Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson. Long Kiss Goodnight?
Oh yeah, that movie's excellent.
That's Shane Black too.
I knew that. Yeah, I really like that movie.
It's a great movie, and it took me so long in my life to realize like Shane Black was like this guy who had like a style and stuff. I didn't really know. I guess, I don't know. I never saw like Lethal Weapon when I was a kid, so maybe that's why I didn't. But I really liked Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's one of my all-time favorite movies.
And that was like 2005-ish, something like that. So I liked that a lot, and then I found out, oh, it's made by this guy Shane Black, and then I went back into his history and was like, oh, he did Lethal Weapon and Last Boy Scout and Long Kiss Goodnight. Anyway, that reminds me though. That's
better than Peter Rader's Waterworld. Well, I guess ended up not directing this movie, but he wrote it.
He was the originator. He like wrote the very first original script, but his script had like all this kind of dumb shit in it where like he wanted Dennis Hopper's character to sit on a
giant
clamshell. But like I guess he was the brain genius who came up with Mad Max on the Water was the whole pitch, and but his script got like taken away from him, and he still got writing credit alongside someone else, but like a ton of people like punched up the script and did passes on it and stuff. But
lack of diversity is appalling, as the cast is almost entirely white and male.
That's not even true.
I guess all the cast that have speaking roles.
Yeah, but what about the people that wanted Kevin Costner to impregnate their child?
That's like a 2-second scene. I was thinking that too.
Well, okay, on that subject, and because Long Kiss Goodnight reminded me of this, I was reading about all the actors who were supposed to play some of these roles. Deacon, which is the main bad guy, who ultimately was played by Dennis Hopper. Samuel L. Jackson was offered the role. He turned it down.
I've never heard of Samuel L. Jackson turning down a role. What else was going on? Was he doing Pulp Fiction?
No, I was almost going to say even better, but it's not better. But close to as good. The best Die Hard movie, Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay.
And that means if he had chosen to do this role in Waterworld, Die Hard with a Vengeance would probably not be the great movie it is today. I don't know.
I've never seen Die Hard 3.
Really? It's by far my favorite one. I like it more than the first one.
I'm a purist,
which I know is,
and I watched Die Hard 1. And that's the one I watched.
Obviously, it's the best one, but I'd like to say that I like the third one the best. It's at least the second best for sure. Much better than the second movie, which I think kind of sucks, actually. Have you only seen the first one?
I think I've seen the first one and the computer hacker one. Which I think
the fourth one or the fifth one?
5 or 4 or 5.
4 or 5 are so fucking bad. The third one is great. The third one is very, I hate to say it, very 90s in a way that people like you and I might enjoy in a nostalgic way. It's like, I think it's like 94. Yeah, it must be. It's around this time. Anyway, who are some of the other people though? Like big, huge names turned down the role of the baddie. Jack Nicholson.
That could have been fun.
Yeah, but at this time, I mean, I think Dennis Hopper was the best of all the choices. Honestly, I could see actually Samuel L. Jackson doing a good job with it for sure. But damn it, now I can't remember, and I don't know if I have them booted up somewhere.
Then the movie would have been like all white people with one black guy who happens to be the bad guy.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like maybe that would have looked a little weird. Oh, Kim Coates, that guy, the guy who is all very rapey.
Yeah,
it looks like he was in Battlefield Earth, one of the worst movies of all time. That's truly one of the worst movies of all time.
I've actually never seen Battlefield Earth.
I've never seen
I've heard that it's one of the worst movies of all time.
I've never seen the whole thing, but I've seen enough. I don't know if anyone needs to watch that whole movie, to be honest. Anyway, there were some other big names who all got offered some of these roles, and now I can't remember what they were. It doesn't matter. Oh, here we go. Gene Hackman, James Caan, Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman would have been, I would say that's the second best choice.
So it was originally, the original script was supposed to be a children's movie, and Joss Whedon turned it more into an adult movie. I didn't realize that. I assumed the original script was darker.
That's what I thought too. I mean,
if you read this, the top bit, the original screenplay by Peter Rader okay. as a children's adventure film.
See, that would have been dumb. Oh yeah, there's a lot of different stuff in the original script, of course. Oh yeah, so they wanted Deacon to be called Neptune and dressed up like King Trident, sitting on a throne on the Exxon Valdez.
They kept the mutation thing, though. So originally the people under Deacon were supposed to be like mutants with lobster claws, and that would have been cool if there was more mutants.
They were gonna call Dryland, as it's called in the movie, with a capital D.
They were gonna call it Water's End. End. See, I kind of like that better than Dryland.
I think it just sounds like Game of Thrones or something to me.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like it better.
Yeah, I guess the other writer, unsurprisingly, cited Mad Max Road Warrior as a major inspiration of the movie. See, maybe that's what this movie just needed, was to be a hard R. I think that could have solved a lot of its issues. Like, if you're not going to, like, make the characters more interesting, at least have more fucking, like, well, more fucking, for one, and more, R-rated shit. Like squibs blowing up out of people's bodies and stuff.
Gene Hackman would have been a good Deacon.
But at this time, I mean, I love Gene Hackman, but
1995, yeah, man, he would have been fine.
He's already like 80 years old.
I don't think so.
No, I know he's not that old, but I love Gene Hackman. I guess I could see him. I mean, he was a bald villain before in the Superman movies, so. James Caan would have been fine, but he's too much of like when I see.
I have no clue who James Caan is.
You know James Caan. You just don't know that you know James Caan. This is James Caan. James Caan's Twitter.
Does he look like Ann Coulter? Oh, I do know him.
He's in The Godfather.
Yeah, sure. I know James Caan.
He's in Wes Anderson's first movie, Bottle Rocket.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, where are we going with this? Yeah, there were a lot of and again, if you hear the commentary, talked about this, but there were so many production like disasters and problems. One of the problems I didn't mention on the commentary was, so like they were shooting all of this in the open sea, and none of their vessels apparently had like any sort of bathrooms. So they would like, anytime people needed to use the bathroom, they would like drive the boats back to some barge that did have a bathroom. And it was just, I don't know, kind of torturous for everyone because they were just doing really long shooting days. And like, it takes so much more effort to set up shots and stuff. Like when you're all moving around on boats, like you have nothing stationary. And yeah, they built this huge set in the middle of not in the middle of the ocean, but in the actual water, which is called the atoll in the movie. Oh yeah, that was one of the facts that I wanted to mention, but I forgot. To build the atoll, they used all of the available steel in the Hawaiian Islands that existed.
Wow.
And had to get more steel shipped from California after they used literally all the steel of Hawaii to build this fucking giant set. And they had something like, I want to say 300 welders just all working on it to like attach the separate segments of this giant set together in the sea. Yeah, so it was just like really like super excess, and a lot of it had to do with this kind of, Kevin Costner wasn't the director, but he might as well have been. Like he basically, him and the real director clashed a lot because Costner was just basically trying to like backseat direct or whatever, and apparently ended up literally directing the rest of the film after the original director left out of frustration, which is what happened on a movie that I started watching the other day and I didn't finish for some reason. But have you seen the updated version of Judge Dredd with Carl Urban?
Yeah, I liked it, but it's like a ripoff of The Raid.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that far enough into the movie. Like,
I mean,
in that giant tower.
I should call it a ripoff. I really like it. Like, I think it's it's one of my favorite movies, the Judge Dredd. And
with the guy from The Boys,
The Raid.
Carl Urban.
The Raid is also one of my favorite movies. It's a great action movie. They're both great action movies, but it all being like this one like large building fight scene thing. I guess I should say, it's very obvious that Dredd's, the way it's filmed is directly influenced by The Raid, but a lot of action movies are. Much like a lot of action movies became directly influenced by Old Boy and its hallway fight scene.
Yeah. I was just thinking of Dredd because that director walked off the set, and Alex Garland, the guy who did Ex Machina and Annihilation and Devs, he apparently like ghost directed that movie.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, like, so it was the same kind of sort of similar situation with this movie, where a director walked off, still gets the credit as director, but like someone else actually finished the actual directing of the film.
That's what that is. I thought the necklace was a dog tag. It was a piece of printed circuit board. I see.
Wait, what? Who's? Where? Oh, the Mariner?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
I thought he was wearing a dog tag.
The circuit board thing is fucking dumb and cool somehow at the same time.
I have played the Nintendo Virtual Boy Waterworld game.
Really? The Virtual Boy? That's the red thing that you stick your face in, right?
It is. I never owned one, but I had a neighborhood friend who had one.
That thing like came and went so fast in my memory.
Because it gave people seizures.
Oh, right.
And it was uncomfortable. Actually, the big reason VR is never going to work out is because no one wants to wear something over their eyes.
Hey, look at this. Gary Oldman told GQ magazine that he rejected the Deacon role for one reason. He flipped a coin and took a role in The Scarlet Letter instead. I mean, Oldman would have been excellent in a role like this. Scarlet Letter, Jesus, that looks like a shit movie. I've never seen it, but I assume it's not good. Who knows?
You don't like Demi Moore?
Not particularly. I like Gary Oldman, though.
It's okay.
You ever see the movie Gary Oldman did where he played Beethoven? It's not good. And I've seen it. I don't know why I watched that.
I feel like I have.
It's called Immortal Beloved. See, the thing is I like Beethoven, I guess.
And you like Gary Oldman.
And I like Gary Oldman. So when I saw the two collide, I was like, I think I like rented it from the library. Did you ever rent DVDs from the library?
I've rented graphic novels and DVDs from the library.
Ooh, one up me with your graphic novels.
One time I rented an LP from the library.
Fancy.
To listen to on a record player I'd picked up from the Goodwill.
Was it
I don't think
Beethoven?
No, it wasn't. I don't remember what it was.
It was Gary Oldman hums Beethoven. Like all IMDb trivia, like it's not none of this is really it's doesn't even live up to like quality standards of like Wikipedia. Like people could just post anything on these things is what I'm saying. And but it does say that Roger Corman, I think notorious kind of like schlock film producer, right? Isn't he like
I think so.
What's his deal? He just did like a lot of B movies, I feel like. So anyway, he passed on making the movie Waterworld because he thought it couldn't be made for less than $5 million. That's pretty funny considering that it turned out to be the most expensive movie
He was right.
of all time. He was so right. Jack Nicholson was deemed too expensive.
That's probably true. And also, he has more star power than Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner wouldn't have liked that.
Oh, good point. Yeah, Dennis Hopper was kind of like I mentioned when we were watching the movie, like he kind of had like a fall from grace. I don't know if he was ever really like, I don't know, it seems like he was always kind of like fighting to stay relevant or something. Yeah. But he's done so many like cool roles and stuff, and I don't know. He's a good actor.
This was also around the time that there was that entertainment shows got really popular to talk about budgets of films, and that's sort of what sucked the film.
Oh yeah, all those like extra, those kind of shows. I almost said Current Affairs. What was it? What am I thinking of? Hard Copy.
Hard Copy, probably.
There's a current one too. I feel like something current. Doesn't matter.
Hollywood Access.
Access Hollywood. But there was like, I feel like when I was a kid, there was Hard Copy, Current something.
I didn't watch any of that stuff as a kid.
I mean,
I was too busy watching Saved by the Bell reruns.
Oh, this is another kind of weird, not that weird, I guess, but Jean Triplehorn, I guess the main female lead, the love interest, to really be reductive. She and the actress who played like the little girl ended up
making a show later.
Ended up being on a show called Big Love, which was that show about. Was it about Mormons? It was about like Mormons, polygamist Mormons or something.
Well, I heard about it. I didn't see it, but I saw Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, she's in Napoleon Dynamite. I did not care for that movie at all.
I thought it was funny when it came out. It's been a long time.
I remember actually feeling bad, almost feeling bad that I didn't like it because my little brother was like,
a lot of people really liked it.
It's so funny, tater tots or whatever the fuck. And I just hated it instantly before I even saw it. I don't know. And I think I felt bad because I knew I was being a snob, but I couldn't help it. I was like,
Had you just decided to hate it?
No, I watched it with my brother, and I was like sitting there trying to. I just hated it so much, but I never said it. I don't think I said it out loud. But I felt so much pressure to like that movie for some reason. And I found it just incredibly annoying. I don't know.
It's okay.
I know it's okay. I'm better than everyone. So the other screenwriter, not the main originating screenwriter, but the other one of Waterworld, he went on to direct Vin Diesel's films series, the Riddick films, apparently they're called.
Yeah.
I never saw any of those. They look like shit.
Pitch Black's great.
Is
What
it?
are you talking about?
Is it really?
Yeah, I really like it. It's a great in the bad movie way.
Okay.
It's super fun.
This is
I
like
like it. It's a
killing
cool movie.
vampires, or
No, it's like you're on fucking Mars, like aliens.
really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like about bats and vampires
No,
and shit.
it's like the prequel. It came out before Riddick. It's the movie Riddick's the sequel to Pitch Black, and Pitch Black is like a space movie.
Oh, I had no idea those had anything to do with space.
Space mercenaries, man, they're awesome. I mean, actually, I don't know if I saw Riddick. I definitely saw Riddick, but I don't know if I saw Riddick in a state of mind where I could tell you much about it. But I really liked Pitch Black.
Okay, I just have this image in my mind of Pitch Black, like having like
You just
images of bats all over it or something.
Nope.
I mean, a movie called Pitch Black could definitely be about vampires. Is all I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, they're doing a Blade reboot this year.
Yeah, I heard about that. Wait, is it gonna have
Wesley
Drop
Snipes?
Zone? Wesley Snipes?
Probably not.
Oh, that sucks then. Why even bother?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I actually never got into any of those movies.
The Blade movies? Or just
Yeah,
movies?
I know everyone says they're so great. I guess I think I've seen the first one. I just can't even remember, to be honest. Maybe that means I haven't seen it because people say it's so great.
I think they're fine. I wouldn't call them great. I think they're fine. They are what they are. Much like Waterworld. So,
They made several more video games about Waterworld that were all apparently really terrible.
yeah, I'm sure they all were.
PC-based games, Quest for Dry Land. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
They made action figures that nobody bought. It's almost sad, but it's not.
So anyway, as we get to the end of Waterworld, do you think that there's any chance the Earth will be covered in water this way? So what is this an accurate portrayal? Like they talk about it being a big like climate change movie, and I guess it is because like they're showing like a catastrophe that could hit the Earth, but it just seems like way more impossible to go. But every coastal city could be like buried in water.
Yeah, but
But everyone dies.
I mean, the thing is, they say that. Well, and obviously, it would be a somewhat gradual thing, obviously. So it's not just like suddenly everyone's drowned in their sleep. But no, I mean, obviously, I guess maybe not obviously, but like basic arithmetic or whatever, scientific calculations say that it would be impossible to cover the whole surface of the Earth with water if it was just from melted ice caps. But I can definitely see coastal cities getting like encroached upon in our lifetime, like in a way that matters, like costing a lot of money. And like they'll probably like build big walls and shit to try to keep it out because like no one wants to accept reality. But yeah, I mean chunks of Florida I think will be gone before I'm dead. Hopefully. if I don't know if that's the right way to look at it. What I'm saying is it's inevitable, and I hope I live long enough to see that inevitability, because as much as I maybe don't seem like it, I kind of want to be alive.
I hope that we get around it, but yes, sure.
I don't think that. I mean, I hope we get around some of the really horrible shit, but like sea levels are gonna. I mean, I think that's not reversible at this point, at least not completely. But yeah, I don't know. Also, like the idea that this was like an environmentalist film, it's not. See, I'm about to contradict myself because when we were watching it, I was making fun of it like, oh, it's so heavy-handed in its environmental message. But now the more I'm thinking about it, they just briefly, very briefly, I think we didn't even catch it. I think I caught it the first time or when watching the documentary thing. There's only like one quick allusion to like, oh, our ancestors really failed us like hundreds of years ago.
I never heard him say that. I mean, I got that the oil rig was Exxon Valdez because you told me, and then when it was Seeking, you saw it, but I never heard anywhere where they said our ancestors really failed us in the whole film.
I might have dreamt that, but I think someone says it like I said, very very quickly, like almost in passing.
Probably the old guy in the balloon.
Maybe it could be really. Who knows? But I was gonna say like I think. There's the basic premise of the movie is actually cool and unique, and something good, actually good, could be done with it. I think. So like the more I'm thinking about it now, like, yeah, if they had shown more of like the process of like adapting to this, like, I mean, it would be like a lot of kind of like heavy montage like over like long periods of time, but it could be cool. I would like to see more of that. But like obviously what they wanted in this film, you know, they weren't trying to make an art film, even though it was clashing, like there was this sort of like over seriousness clashing with the like, it's just a fun pirate movie, like a Disney movie. But yeah, I don't know. Like if you showed like the fuck ups over the hundreds of years, and then like it leads to this world that's, you know, Mad Max ish.
They just did like a bigger scale of just not so much showing the fuck ups, but just showing how people live in this world. Like really showing more course of time and like just the horrors of survival
and geography. Like if you wanted to like really make like an epic environmentalist sort of message movie about water overtaking the earth, yeah, I could see like just this bigger scale thing of like forget all of the fighting and the action sequences and just have this like how are people adapting in this part of the globe? How are people adapting in, I don't know, fucking Greenland or whatever? But maybe that would be a boring art movie that ends up being like 10 hours long. I don't know. In any case, next up, we watch The Postman. No, probably not. I mean, I'm going to watch it. Maybe we should just do them all. Wyatt Earp, Postman.
No.
Dances with Wolves.
I can't.
In that order.
I can't do any more Kevin Costner in my life.
All without stopping.
The only Kevin
How's
Costner,
next Sunday for you?
The only Kevin Costner movie I want to watch is Swing Vote.
He seems to have a real love of Field of Dreams.
The movie's fine. Baseball's cool.
Maybe we can call it there.
Yeah. Okay. Slater intro.
Yeah. This is classic stupid IMDb trivia when people like just post the most mundane things. Like, these two actors were in a movie together, but they were also in this other movie together. Can you believe it?
I didn't realize that Kevin Costner was in True Romance.
He's not.
Oh, Christian Slater's in True Romance. I got it. That like whole trivia message right there is really hard for me to read.
No, it's really it's very poorly written. Yeah,
it was really confusing to me. I was like, because I've seen True Romance multiple times, and I was like, what does it mean?
Okay, hang on. This is what we're gonna go out with. This dumb comment, this dumb trivia, and it says 12 out of 82 people found this interesting with good reason. It should really be less than 12. Kevin Costner and Christian Slater, who appeared together in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, also directed by Kevin Reynolds, who directed Waterworld, would go on to co-star with Dennis Hopper. Costner in this film and Swing Vote, and Slater in True Romance. I rewatched True Romance.
I have such a hard time parsing what that sentence means.
I mean, I get it. It's just dumb. Oh wait, that means Dennis Hopper's in Swing Vote. Am I more likely to want to watch Swing Vote now? Damn. Shit. Well, anyway. In reverse order, this has been Heat Death of the Universe. It is 1:45 a.m. Korea Standard Time. April 24th, 2021.
Visit us on the internet.
And we're on the internet sometimes. All the time, actually.
Most of the time.
HeatDeathPod.com. Twitter at HeatDeathPod.
I'm out of recommendations for tonight.
Yeah.
I don't have them.
I did, but I don't want to.
I recommend sleep.
I recommend watching Waterworld if you've never seen it before.
Go for it.
I recommend watching Waterworld with us.
I think the practicals...
virtually by listening to our commentary, which is available now, probably right above or below this thing you're hearing. What are you gonna say?
Oh. Yeah, Waterworld, it's cool. It's got good practical effects.
Yes, and jet skis. My last word is going to be jet skis.
Standing on the bridge, I won't get me from up high.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?